The passive voice. What is the passive voice? A sentence generally begins with the performer of the action, subject, then the verb, then the object or person that the action is performed on. This is called an active sentence. For example, the subject is John, the verb is cleaned, and the object is the room. John cleaned the room. Now, if we begin the sentence with the object or person that the action is performed on, we formulate a passive sentence. So, starting with the object, the room, then adding the verb was cleaned, and if you want to add the person or the subject, we can use by. By John. The room was cleaned by John. Note: not all verbs in English take an object. Therefore, some sentences are complete without an object. For example, John sleeps well, or John lives far away. This type of sentence cannot be changed into passive voice. Right, let's take a look when we use the passive voice. There are two main cases. Firstly, we do not know who the subject is, or not important who the subject is. For example, somebody cleaned the room. The room was cleaned. Or when it is obvious to the listener or reader who the subject is, because it's the person who usually does it. Example, the cleaner cleaned the room. The room was cleaned. Let's have a look at how we formulate the passive voice. There are 3 steps to formulate a passive sentence. First, put the object of the verb at the beginning of your sentence. Then, conjugate the verb to be in the same sentences as the active sentence. And finally, put the main verb in the past participle. For example, the active sentence is the postman delivers the mail. Get rid of the subject. Put the object at the beginning of your sentence. Conjugate the verb to be in the past tense is, and put main verb in its past participle form, delivered. Let's take a look another example. The decorator painting my room. Get rid of the subject. Put the object at the beginning. The tense says present continuous, so conjugate the verb to be in the present continuous tense, is being, and change to painted. My room is being painted. One more example. Someone stole the money. Get rid of the subject. Put the object at the beginning, the money. Conjugate the verb to be in the past simple tense, and change stole into past participle form, stolen. The money was stolen. Note, if you want to mention the subject in a passive sentence, use by. My room is being painted by the decorator. Note 2. If the active sentence begins with no one or nobody, the passive sentence will be negative. No one turned on the light. The light was not turned on. The final note: if there is preposition between the verb and the object, the preposition will remain after the verb. For example, They talked about the issue. The issue was talked about. Okay, let's have a look at the passive voice of different tenses. Present simple, active, I do it. It is done. Past simple, I did it. It was done. Future simple, I will do it. It will be done. Present continuous, I'm doing it. It is being done. Past continuous, I was doing it. It was being done. Future continuous, I will be doing it. It will be being done. Present perfect, I have done it. It has been done. Future past perfect, I had done it. It had been done. Future perfect, I will have done it. It will have been done. Present perfect continuous, I have been doing it. Not common. In fact, perfect continuous tense are very uncommon in the passive voice. So, like present perfect continuous, we don't put past perfect continuous, I had been doing it, or future perfect continuous, I will have been doing it in the passive voice. Keep the sentence to their active form. Okay, let's look at the passive voice of other structures. In structures containing the infinitive do, the passive is simply be done. For example, be going to, I'm going to do it, it's going to be done. Have to, I have to do it, it has to be done. Used to, I used to do it, it used to be done. Modal verbs like can, may with infinitive without to, I can do it, it can be done. Next, in expression containing the gerund doing, the passive voice is with being done. Let's look at a couple of examples. Avoid. I avoid seeing him. He avoids being seen. With the expression don't mind, I don't mind teaching her. She doesn't mind being taught. Let's look at the person in object position. We can also formulate passive sentences with a person in the object position. For example, somebody pushed me. I was pushed. They have invited us. We have been invited. Someone was interviewing Jane. Jane was being interviewed. Some sentences have both an object and a person in the object position. You can choose either one to formulate the passive sentence. For example, someone handed me a note. I was handed a note. Or a note was handed to me. They have sent us a copy. We have been sent a copy. Or a copy has been sent to us. Okay, it's time to look at common mistakes. There are 4 common mistakes. The first one is changing the tense to a similar tense. Someone has reported the incidents. The incidents were reported. It is a mistake. It should be the incidents have been reported. They are going to build a church. A church will be built. It is a mistake. It should be a church is going to be built. The second common mistake is forgetting the verb to be. Someone has reported the incidents. The incidents have reported. Mistake. Be is missing. The incidents have been reported. They are going to build a church. A church is going to build. Mistake. Be is missing. A church is going to be built. Moving to the next common mistakes, which is using the present participle instead of the past participle. Someone has reported the incidents. The incidents have been reporting. It is mistakes. The incidents have been reported. They are going to build a church. A church is going to be building. It is mistakes. A church is going to be built. Finally, the third common mistake is plural or singular confusion. Someone has reported the incidents. The incidents has been reported. It is a mistake because incidents is plural. So, it should be the incidents have been reported. They are going to build a church. A church are going to be built. A church is singular. So it should be a church is going to be built. Right then, it is the end of the lesson on the passive voice. I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to practice. Goodbye.